Hello everyone, my name is Madi and this is the very first lesson from our Duolingo Preparation Course. It is the introductory lesson, so here you will learn the general information about the Duolingo English Test. Then we will discuss what kind of tasks are there in Duolingo. And in the end, we will show you the strategy to get at least 120 points on Duolingo. Moreover, the experience of our students show that if you have, let's say, 90 points in Duolingo currently, you will improve your score for at least 5 to 10 points after just watching this introductory video alone. By the way, this platform is called Miro, a very useful tool where we will conduct our video course. So let's start. Now, probably you already know some information about Duolingo English Test. However, let's briefly review the most important information. So, Duolingo is an international English test certificate that is required if you are applying to the university at bachelor, master's, or PhD level. So, one of the main advantages of the test is that you can take the test online at any time, anywhere, if you have internet connection. It takes approximately 1 hour to finish and the test, and another advantage of the Duolingo is the results will be ready just in a couple of days. Moreover, currently Duolingo is accepted by over 3,500 institutions. This is an official information from the website of the Duolingo. Now, regarding the price. So the price for one test is $65, and if you pay for 2 tests immediately, there is a discount for $20 and the price would be $110. This is for the people who want to take two times and compare the results to choose the highest one. Now if you compare it with the price of IELTS and TOEFL tests, it is almost 3 times less. For instance, the price of TOEFL test is $190 and the price of IELTS is also approximately $190. So that is why Duolingo English tests can be considered as a much cheaper option, and also the results will be available much faster because the results of IELTS will be ready only in 2 weeks after passing the test, and this is quite a long time. Now, the next thing that we need to mention is the duration of the test. For instance, the IELTS is passed within 3 to 4 hours, which is a long and exhausting process, whereas you can finish the Duolingo only in 1 hour. Now, regarding the results in different types of tests, you can compare the scores of IELTS, Duolingo, and TOEFL. For instance, if you get, let's say, 140 points in Duolingo, it means that you have approximately 109 or 112 points in TOEFL. And for instance, if you get the same 140 points in Duolingo, it means that your score equals to 7.5 points in IELTS. The next thing in Duolingo, you will pass it in online form from the beginning till the end, which means that you do not have to go anywhere. You don't have to even register in advance. If you decide to pass the exam, you just visit the official website, register, and pay the price. After the payment, you can pass the test immediately or sometime later. And for that, you do not need anything but the quiet room and the computer. Another thing in Duolingo English Test is that you can take a free trial test for 15 minutes on the official website. But please keep in mind that one trial test, they will not give you the exact score. They will give you approximate score. For instance, here you can see the range of our instructor from 145 points to 155 points. For the reference, we recommend you to take the lowest score as your benchmark because it is impossible to properly assess all of your skills in 15 minutes. Moreover, the practice showed that majority of students have a higher level of reading and listening in comparison to their writing and speaking skills. Now, the maximum score that you can get in Duolingo is 160 points. And for admission, each university has its own requirements, but in the majority of universities from around the world is approximately 100 points for bachelor degree. For the master's degree, it's 110 points, and for the PhD degree is also 110 points. Of course, some universities have higher standards, therefore you have to contact the university directly to find out. Now, one more thing is that world's top university also accept Duolingo test. For instance, Yale, Columbia University, Boston University, Imperial College of London, the Ivy League, and lots of other universities. You can find the full list of universities on the official website of Duolingo. So, this is the main information about the Duolingo English test. Now, let's look at the tasks. So currently, as of January 2025, the Duolingo has 14 different tasks. So it's reading complete task, fill in the blanks, interactive reading, read and select, and the others. So let's look closer at these 14 tasks. By the way, you have to be ready for the frequent minor updates in Duolingo. The last update happened in April of 2024. Also, one update happened during the previous year, and before that we also have few updates. That is why the changes in Duolingo are absolutely okay. This is not something major, and new tasks are pretty easy to learn because they are very similar to the existing ones. So the strategies that you learn on this video course is easily applicable to the new tasks. Okay, so let's look at the tasks one by one. The first task here is read and complete. Here we are given the text and we should type the missing letters to complete the text below. So during this video course, we will learn the strategies to answer each question properly and not to guess or use our intuition. So you will know what kind of letters are missing by understanding the logic of the text and using our strategies. The second task is called fill in the blanks. These two tasks are quite similar, the difference being that in the first one there are 10 to 15 words that is missing, and in the second we only have to type one word, and that's it. And also for read and complete task we are given 3 minutes. Here it is. And for fill in the blanks only 20 seconds. The next is interactive reading, where we will be given 6 different tasks, and for each of them we will use different but effective and simple strategies. So later in this video we will work with the passages of the text to choose the appropriate title and the best that describes the main idea, okay? Another task is guessing the real word, or it's called read and select. So we have to read the word and decide whether it's a real word or fake word. We will be given only 5 seconds for each word. So we have to click yes or no and move to the next word. Another task is interactive listening. Here we have to listen to the dialogue. The context of this dialogue will be explained prior to the task, and after finishing the dialogue, you have to write the summary for the conversation. The next task is listen and type. Basically, you press here to listen the statement of the speaker. You can listen up to 3 times, and then you have to write down what the speaker said. This is also pretty easy task. We just have to read the sentence out loud and record ourselves. So it may seem as a very easy task. However, you have to know that all the tasks in Duolingo are divided into 3 levels: easy, medium, and hard level. So the sentences that you read will also be of different levels of difficulty. And sometimes sentences in the medium level and especially at hard level can be really challenging. So we will teach you an effective strategy to help you read aloud and to get the highest possible score. The task number 8 is called Listen Then Speak. So basically, this is an open question where you need to listen to the question of the speaker and then you will be given 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer the question. For answering correctly, we have prepared the templates that help you to give the best answer in the test, which we will show you a bit later. Now, the rest of the tasks. So from 9 till 14 are open questions. You will be given time to answer, to describe the picture or to write about the photo, or you will read the question on the screen or listen to the question and then you have to either speak about the question or you have to write the answer. So, in order to get the highest score, we will use the strategy that is outlined in 4 different templates that will help you to answer any of the tasks from 9 till 14. So, we have developed incredibly effective and universal strategies that will help you to stay focused on the question and come up with the best possible answers. Now, for instance, in the question number 12, we have to read the question and provide the written answer. By the way, when we will be writing the answer, we should write at least 50 words. Now the last 2 tasks are interactive writing and interview speaking. In interactive writing, it's very similar to reading and writing tasks. However, we also have the follow-up question. So the first part of the task, we will be given 5 minutes, and within these 5 minutes, we should write an essay. And after finishing the first part, we will be given 1 more question about the same topic. And for that 1 question, we will be given additional 3 minutes to answer. And even for this task, we have prepared a separate template which will be very helpful in answering the follow-up question and the main question as well. And the last task is interview speaking, where we have to speak from 1 to 3 minutes. So the question will be either to describe something or express your opinion, or they will ask you to talk about advantages and disadvantages, agree or disagree, or other similar type of questions. And the main difference in this interview speaking task is that you will see yourself on the screen while speaking through your webcam. And this is not a photo actually. This is a student that speaks on his camera. Now, this might be a little bit unusual and many students get nervous at the first time, but we will give you the tips that you will use as an instrument to answer in calm and confident manner. So, these are all the tasks in Duolingo, and now let's review the certificate that hopefully you will get after successfully passing the test. So, the official certificate looks like this. So, there will be your photo here, your date of birth, the date of the test, and the ID certificate. And the overall score will be indicated here. So there will be some comments, and also there will be an individual sub-scores and integrated sub-scores. They are divided into 4 classical criteria such as speaking, writing, reading, and listening. So for instance, by looking at this certificate, we can understand that this person has a very high level of English. However, her writing can be improved, which is a very useful tool to observe the weaknesses and the strength as well. Now, the main question for us is how to get 120 points on Duolingo English Test. So many people believe that they need to have an upper intermediate level of English to pass the Duolingo test. However, our students, even with elementary level of English or pre-intermediate level of English, gets high scores. So, for that, the best proven strategy is to watch all of the 15 videos. We frequently update our video course, so you can absolutely be sure that all of the information on our course is necessary to prepare for Duolingo English Test. The next thing that you need to do is to learn the Duolingo vocabulary. So, we will provide our students with 3 documents, including current Duolingo vocabulary, that is actually used on the real test. So, we have divided them into 3 levels: easy, medium, and hard level. So, it will be very useful not only for essays or speaking tasks, but also for the task where you have to read and select real words, or where you have to read and complete the task, or where you have to describe the picture and several other tasks. So it's incredibly useful for the whole Duolingo test. Now, the third thing that you must do is to practice with the test bank. And this is another advantages of the Duolingo in comparison with the IELTS and TOEFL tests. You see, in IELTS, you will never ever receive the same reading and other tasks that you have practiced. So they always give the new tasks in IELTS, and this is also true for TOEFL. However, in Duolingo, they have a pool of questions, and there is a very high probability that you will get exactly the same reading or exactly the same writing question or exactly the same picture that you have practiced on the course. So the reason why our course is so effective is that all the tests that we practice in the course are real Duolingo tests. So our students constantly return to us and tells us after the test that they received the same reading task or they received the same picture or the same material that we have practiced. Therefore, even with an elementary level of English, you will practice real Duolingo tests, and this will highly increase the probability to get a very good score, which is a great news for you. Now, the fourth thing is that you must do practice. After each video, we will give you a homework. This is very important because without a lot of practice, all the strategies, hints, and tips and everything else will not give you any advantage. Okay? Moreover, when you do your homework and send it to us, we will check everything and we will not only give you recommendations, but we will also evaluate your score so that you will know how much points you will get for each task. This will help you to track your current level and current score in Duolingo. So you will not only know your level, but also observe your progress throughout the course. And finally, last thing, you must practice timing. You see, this is the only part where you should master it, which you should master it on your own. Now, what does it mean? Each and every task in Duolingo has a specific time limit. So when you are writing an essay or doing reading or listening, you should always set a timer. By practicing with a timer, you will learn how to write the essay within a specific time limit. Because there is no point of writing incredible essay if it takes 10 or 15 minutes. Therefore, please watch your timing while you practice your homework. So, let's discuss the specific strategies for the preparation for the Duolingo English test, and we will start with the read and write task. Here, we have to read the question and write an essay. This is a real question that you can actually get on your exam. So it states, do you think that requiring employees to follow a dress code on the job is a good thing or a bad thing? Now here, they ask you your opinion. It is a good thing or a bad thing? Now, tip number 1. Majority of students believe that more they write, the higher will be the score. But please keep in mind that there is no point of writing too many words if you use easy words and if you use basic grammar. Therefore, instead of writing a lot, our goal is to show the examiner that our vocabulary is rich and we are able to use the synonyms and that we know different grammar and rules. So instead of writing too many, we will only write 5 sentences. And these 5 sentences will include the academic structure and would demonstrate that our level of English is really high. So the first sentence is an introduction to the topic. Moreover, we never answer to the question directly in the first sentence, and we never stated in the first sentence that it is a good thing or a bad thing. Instead, we give the general information like, nowadays, lots of companies have the dress code at their working place. And that's just a neutral answer. Now in the second sentence, we express our opinion saying that I believe that it is absolutely unacceptable to dress casually in the office. Or I believe that it is really wonderful idea for different organizations. So you see, only in the second sentence, we share our opinion. Then, in a third sentence, we explain ourselves by giving an argument in favor of our statement. So we can say, by wearing classic clothes in the office, we create working and productive environment. Then in the fourth sentence, we should give an example so that the examiner will understand our logic. So we can say, different studies conducted by the researchers suggest that specific dress code positively influences on the attitude of the employees. And in the fifth sentence, we just conclude the whole essay by saying, overall, it is better for the workers to look presentable at the office. And that's it. So there is no need to write 100 words because we will waste our time and we will not provide a structured answer. We should also try to avoid repeating one word more than 2 times. So of course it can be challenging. However, when we repeat the word more than 2 times, the examiner might think that your vocabulary is poor and may reduce the overall score. And also, we should learn how to easily use different grammar. Very often, when students write an essay and they do not really pay attention to the grammar. However, the essay is exactly the place where you can demonstrate your level of English. And that is why we have to use the conditionals, the passive voice, there is the raw grammar, comparison, and so on. Now, the next task is about the photo. And students tend to make a lot of mistakes without having a strategy, and they start to invent a story. This is a common mistake. When students say that they see a man and his wife and they're having a nice time after work and that they're at home and so on and so forth. Now, you see, we cannot assume that these people are husband and wife or that it is their house. We cannot even say that they're having fun after the work. So, how do we describe the picture? First of all, we describe the main object on the photo. So it can be either a living object, people, as in this case, or animal, or it could be a non-living object. Therefore, in the first sentence, we have to name this object or objects. Here we can see a man and a woman on a picture. They are our main objects. Now, after the naming the objects, in the first sentence, so we should now describe the object in the second sentence. So we can use 4 categories. It's their emotions, their appearances, their clothes, and their actions. In order to stay within the time limit, we will use only 2 categories. And in the third sentence, we will describe either a background of the photo or foreground. So you can choose which one is more interesting or easier to describe. In this particular picture, we have shelves, some books, and mirror on the background. For instance, so we can say the photo shows the bookshelves and with some books and some stuffed toys. And there's also the mirror and the home plate on the background. So after describing the main object, and the background, we can give our ideas about a photo. Meaning, we can make some suggestions about a photo, but again, we do not claim that it's true. Therefore, we should use such words as probably, perhaps, or it seems like. So instead of saying that I see man and his wife, we will say that probably the man and the woman are having a romantic night by having a drink and watching a movie. So in a third sentence, I can give my idea or my impression about the picture. So maybe they're siblings and they're watching a movie, or maybe they're a couple and they're enjoying their weekend together. Both options are perfectly fine. However, just do not claim that it's true. We are guessing or making a suggestion, and it's absolutely okay to make suggestions as long as we say probably or perhaps. So this is how we describe the photo in speaking format. For the writing description is similar, but there are some differences because there will be given only 1 minute. So within 1 minute, it's impossible to write 3 or more sentences. Therefore, we will use a little bit different strategy, which we will discuss on the course itself, since we don't have time covering everything on one lecture. So the next task is read and select. So we should guess, is it a real word or not? So we will get one word on the screen and we have to click yes or no. And there will be lots of words, and the majority of words may be difficult. Therefore, we will use 2 different strategies. Firstly, we will review the vocabulary from the actual Duolingo test. There are 3 levels of the vocabulary: easy, medium, and hard level, as we discussed. And the second strategy that we are going to use, we have to learn and understand how generally the words in English language are constructed. And basically, there are 3 main ways. So there is a word building first, then we need to understand how the compound words work together, and finally, we have to understand the loan words. We will cover all these 3 ways of word building in a separate video. However, we can shortly review how to analyze the words and how we will use these strategies. For instance, if we look at this word, let's say that we do not know its meaning, but it seems like a real word. So we should not use intuition, we have to analyze. So the root of the word is very short. It seems like a verb or a noun or adjective. We have to identify the suffixes and prefixes, since with their help, the noun can become the adjective can become an adverb, or the adjective can become a verb. So for this, we will show you all these suffixes and prefixes on a separate video, but the majority of them you might already know. For instance, here, if we look at this word, you can find the ER suffix. So basically ER, this is a suffix that is added to the verb to make a noun, like work, worker, write, writer, build, builder, and so on. And we have ER suffixes, and we know that there is a pronoun like some, something, somewhere, and so on. However, if some is the root of the word and ER is the suffix, then most probably it's not a real word, because this particular word doesn't have any meaning. The part which is THER doesn't have any meaning. So it's not a real word. And the next word is elimination. So the next word is elimination. If we do not know this word, we can get rid all of the suffixes and prefixes to find the root of the word. And if the root of the word is real word, then the whole word is probably a real word as well. But if the root of the word is a fake one, then the whole word is fake. So the suffix ation, Asian, is a common suffix for the nouns because there are such words like demonstration, creation, termination. And if we get rid of this suffix, we will get the word eliminate, which is an actual word. So we take it as a real word. The next word is resiliable. Here, we will use the same strategy, get rid of the suffixes and prefixes, So we will get rid of the prefix re in the beginning of the word and the suffix able in the end of it, and we have the word silly, which is not a real word. The next word is undesirable. The prefix is un, is a common prefix for the words like unquestionable or unbelievable. And the ending able is also a common suffix used in words like unbreakable, unbelievable, and so on. So we will have the root of the word desire, and it's a real word which has the same meaning as wishing. So by learning word building strategies, we will be able to easily detect if it's a real word or false word. Another task in Duolingo called read and complete. So we have to read and complete the sentences, and here we have the words that we need to finish. And our strategy is firstly to look at the first sentence and to understand the idea of the rest of the text. The second thing is to pay attention to the tense of the first sentence. For instance, here it says that Shannon turned 30 last weekend. And one of the patterns in Duolingo is that first sentence of the written complete task don't have any missing letters, as you can see. So we can always read the first sentence and understand. And the idea is clear. Shannon had a birthday last weekend and she is now 13. So probably we can guess the rest of the sentence will be about how she's feeling about turning 30 years of age. And the second thing about this sentence is that it is in the past tense. So another tip, if the first sentence is in the past tense, the rest of the text will be in the past tense as well. As we move to the next sentence, it says, she been the decade a years. So, since we identified the tense of the text, now we can easily find that here we should write in the past tense, saying that she had been dreaming the new decade for a few years. This is the perfect continuous tense, and there are certain patterns in Duolingo. For instance, if you see had been plus some word, then we have to check whether it's a continuous. And in most of the cases, this word must be in the continuous tense. Same logic with the verb to be. If you have to be verbs like was, were, is, or are, and in the next word is missing, then 90% of the cases this is going to be the passive voice. And the next sentence states, but having reached it, she found herself more satisfied with her life than she had expected. Now, this is medium level text, and if you will practice, you will understand the pattern or the logic behind it, so you will easily answer the questions. So our extensive experience showed that just by following the tips that we will share with you on this lecture and learning to apply it, you can actually improve your score by 5 to 10 points. Now, some of you may wish to prepare on your own without paying for any courses. And for those of you, we would like to share some free sites that can help you to prepare for the exam. So, here is the website that you can practice in Duolingo test. It is called OET Study. So, it's really easy to register here. You just write your username, create your username and email, create your password, and that's it. Then you will be able to practice up to 10 tasks each day for free. And if you want to practice more, you have to pay for that. And you will get to all these tasks in these particular sections. So for instance, in speaking section, there are read aloud, speak about the photo, read then speak, listen then speak, speaking sample. And all these tasks here are also divided into 3 levels of difficulty: easy, medium, and hard. And it is really critical to practice all these levels one by one without mixing them, because it will help you to feel more confident. Also, in OET Study, and as well as on any other platform, they often show you the sample answers for open question and for essays or for description of the picture. So our recommendation is, please do not use these essays as possible answers, because keep in mind that there are literally thousands of other people who also look at these sample answers and use them for their preparation. And some of these people just memorize these essays, which means that Duolingo examiner can spot the similarities in answers. And also, it does not encourage students to actually learn how to write or speak properly during the exam. Moreover, most of these sample answers are really not that good. There are a lot of mistakes, no proper academic structure, no extra grammar, or poor vocabulary. Therefore, we do not recommend you to use these answers as a reference or as a good example, okay? And the last issue that we would like to mention is vocabulary. So, we not only provide you with the sample tests from the actual Duolingo test, but we will also give you the vocabulary to learn from the actual Duolingo test as well. So these are approximately 4,000 words in total from each level of difficulty. So you can click on the document like this and you can actually download it here. You can click here and this document will be downloaded. So, if you learn them, you will actually going to exactly get the same words on the real Duolingo test, which will be incredibly helpful for your preparation. So, that's it for today. We hope that this lesson was useful for you. Please share this video with your family and friends. Thank you and goodbye.